We are here at the NI Days 2025 in Bengaluru, and I have a very special guest with me, Ritu Favre, who is the president for the Global Business Tests and Measurements for Emerson. Ritu, thank you so much for taking the time out.
Thank,
Really appreciate it.
thank you so much.
We're seeing this mega trend in the automotive industry right now. Things are moving very fast towards a software defined world. We're seeing a growth in connectivity, and electrification is, something which is really on everyone's mind right now. So, as NI, how do you see the needs of the industry change in terms of the test and measurements requirements?
Yeah, so we're seeing a lot of, like you said, a lot of different trends. So software-defined vehicles is one huge new trend. Right. Zonal and domains computing, much more complicated kinds of computers is another piece. From a market perspective, electrification, a lot of sustainability types of initiatives, as well as autonomous driving.
Right.
So what we're seeing in the market in general is as we're moving to more complex kinds of test solutions around these zonal computer as well as software defined vehicles. I think that's the biggest kinds of trends that we're seeing.
Right. Right. How is NI, aligning itself to these trends? What changes are you making in your tools for the industry? And what's the reception from the industry, if I make it ask you that as well?
Sure. So there's kind of four areas that we're focusing. One is a lot of the hardware and the list. So doing this testing
Right.
before the products have to get into the market with this hardware in the loop type of a configuration. That's a huge area that we're focusing on. As you said, connectivity. So we have vehicle radar test systems. We have a lot of development that we're doing there, and we're seeing quite a bit of adoption there. As well, we have production test solutions for ECU tests. As the computers are getting more complicated, we're seeing that as a big area. And then finally, we have vehicle communications, vehicle networks. So we're doing a lot of work around automotive Ethernet. So we're seeing 1 gig moving to 10 gig. But we also support a lot of the CAN and LIN buses that we always have. And then visions. So doing camera testing,
Right.
as there's a lot more ADAS
ADAS.
kinds of solutions. We have a lot of read and record and replay types of solutions. So it's a lot of excitement in this industry right now,
Right.
especially because of the complexity of the test. That is where NI really does shine.
Right. And if we can break down all these four areas into the different geographies around the world, so where does India stand right now in terms of the new development of technologies, and what do you think is going to be the future roadmap for the country?
So in India, we basically have global design centers around the world. We have about 5 pretty big design centers for NI. Right, India has the second largest design center, so we're doing a lot of our software development here, LabVIEW and TestStan. If we look at sort of from a global perspective, we're doing development around the world on all of those different technologies. So a lot of our hardware is done kind of in the U.S. and a little bit in our Malaysia facility. We have quite a bit of our development is also happening here just from a software stuff.
Right. So India is developing more of software from a global point of view.
That's correct. That's
Right.
And then if I look globally, we're seeing India as a market that is becoming more hardware centric. There's a lot more product development that's happening here. And so we believe that that will be a huge opportunity for NI. And as we see that mature, we will probably be looking at doing more design in India. We also have a very vibrant partner ecosystem. And so we're able to see our partners complete a lot of our platform solutions within this space.
When you say part your ecosystem, so you've also at this very conference announced a strategic tie-up with Tata Technologies. Could you give us some insight about what exactly is going to be the scope of work in that alliance?
Yeah, so we are primarily a platform and products company. Data is doing a lot of the actual integration services to provide complete solutions into the market. So it's very much about marrying our tools that provide efficiency for customers with their integration services and be able to go faster into the market together.
Yeah.
And that's really what that partnership is about.
Right, right. And also, Ritu, in terms of this new trend of AI, so are you also doubling down on your efforts in sort of embedding AI tools in your overall technologies for the customers?
Yeah, so we made an announcement today about Nigel, our AI advisor. And so what we're looking at is embedding that into our LabVIEW and TestStan tools, right, which will again allow customers to move faster. So what we're looking at is a lot of the kind of repetitive tasks can be done much more quickly, right, through AI. So in LabVIEW and TestStan, we can use Nigel for these more repetitive tasks, very engineer-led, and then we will see that our customers will be able to get to market much, much faster when they've been able to.
Right. With this change towards, more electric vehicles and autonomous cars, like you said, we're looking at more consolidated timeline in terms of going to the market. So if you could just, maybe gaze into the future and give me a sort of an outline of how things are going to evolve in the future when you look at new product development.
So if you look at the way that it works today, you do research, then you'll do verification, validation into production. I think that entire cycle will become much more merged together, where it isn't as much you go very serially. And in typical in the automotive industry, it can take 5 years to bring a vehicle out. As you heard this morning, we're looking at that becoming compressed much, much more. And so if you can go from design into validation and into production much faster by doing these iteration loops, using a lot of these test tools, using AI, you can get your product feedback much faster.
Right.
And you'll have, if you're collecting the amount of data that comes from these tools, you can do your predictive analysis, you can do your looking at where the issues were and continue to perfect your product design much, much faster. So I would expect AI is going to help all markets move much faster into being able to innovate and getting products into the market faster.
There. And on that, how do you see NI sort of, becoming a key partner to the industry going forward as we see even more, like you said, compressed timelines in the future?
So NI's kind of value proposition has always been about helping engineers get to the market faster. So ours is an automated test kind of a solution, modular, open, software enabled. And so we will continue with that value proposition. Being software enabled means that customers can move much quicker. It's much more flexible. And so this remains our mission is to get engineers to market faster. I think with AI, we will start to see that become even more fast and even more efficient as we move
Right.
forward.
Right. Wish you all the best, Ritu. Thank you so much. Right.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Appreciate it.